眼下南疆势力混杂，你们焉知下一刻我不会反？
哪儿冒出来的门？不行，原本就是一个陷阱。
无人出语，怎会和他有关系？
敌军到底埋下了多少势力？就是代传说中的魔神竟然现世了。倘若他们成功，必遭腹背加工。
Qin led a troop from the Imperial College aboard a battle barge, slicing through the waters toward the river Yong, tasked with quelling the rebel forces. The cloud-chasing ship flew for a full day and a half before reaching Yong, where the main army's encampment lined the riverbank like a forest. The battle had just ended, tower ships shattered, flames still burning, red corpses drifting across the water. Soldiers were hauling bodies ashore for burial. Qin opened his azure whistle heavenly eye and looked across the river. A ruined city still flickered with traces of divine light. The remnants of Dian Kang's troops were finishing off the rebels. Fan Yongxiao halted the ship, handed them over to the military camp, and left immediately scoffing that the scholars were too weak and would only get in the way. His words made Shen Wanyun's face darken. Not long after, General Shuyu appeared majestic, stunning, blood from the battlefield still staining her armor. She recognized Qin, unable to hide her joy and surprise. The scholars were stunned to learn Qin was acquainted with both the Liuan Prefecture Assistant Magistrate and the Princess of the fallen Yuan nation. Qin asked about the Corpse Immortal sect. Shuyu reported that most had been crushed. The remnants had fled south toward Nanjang's southern frontier, where many rebellious factions were gathering in chaos. She led them up the city wall, speaking of the turbulent times. In this age, who can say who is loyal and who is treacherous? Even that single light remark nearly scared Yongquei out of his wits. Her troops walked directly across the river's surface to the opposite bank. Qin and the scholars had to exert all their strength to keep up. Along the way, she explained why she had not joined the rebels not out of fear, but because she valued the nation's vitality and the people's livelihood. The national preceptor of the Dian Kang nation had proven far superior to Yuan's former rulers in these matters. Thus, she willingly surrendered authority and became the administrator of Liuan Prefecture. As they entered the freshly conquered city, she pointed out something suspicious: the rebel forces had been abnormally weak. Major factions from past eras, Xianxia, the Imperial Dragon Sect, and many vanished experts had not appeared. Even more, she lowered her voice, who can say whether the gods of the previous eras are truly dead? A chill shot through the scholars. Finally, she assigned the mission: eliminate the remnants of the Nine Hells sect, a group notorious for impersonating ghosts and gods. When the other scholars caught up, Qin group would depart first. Experts at pretending to be gods and ghosts, can they even summon spirits to aid them? Qin shuddered, remembering two techniques he had seen on the first floor of the Heavenly Records Tower: the soul summoning guide of the Nine Hells sect, and the commanding ghosts and spirits talisman of the Hongshan sect. One summoned souls, the other commanded ghosts, both considered heretical, weak in combat and rarely cultivated. But when he compared the runes, he found they had been deliberately altered before being submitted to the court, correcting the distorted runes. Qin gradually saw an enormous repository of knowledge hidden beneath the disguise. After 3 days of refining and repairing, he was almost certain the soul summoning guide could truly draw a soul back from the netherworld into its corpse. He immediately ran to find a body to test on, but heard that the corpses of the Nine Hells sect had been buried in the Dejiang County graveyard and on Mount Lu. A terrifying thought struck him. Qin face turned, pale as he shouted the alarm. Burn the bodies immediately. The Nine Hells sect may return. But it was already too late. A faint ancient chant drifted across the river like divine murmurs from the dead. In the middle of Yong, a Taoist wearing a straw hat stood atop a mast, green runes swirling around him like living serpents. Black smoke erupted, heaven and earth dimmed. Qin saw the gate of the netherworld flickering above the river. The scholar's tower ship was swallowed whole by darkness. Mount Lu split apart. A mass of corpses burst out from the earth, charging straight for the city gates. Several officers were frozen in place by golden talismans and cut down instantly. The western gate collapsed. The corpses of the Nine Hells sect necks, nearly severed chests pierced. Limbs hacked apart rose one after another, their souls dragged back into their bodies. They rushed in, slaughtering the defenders like grass under a scythe. Dian Kang's troops relied on coordinated group tactics, but scattered in the chaotic city, the small units were crushed utterly. In the darkness, the resurrected corpses of the Nine Hells sect were visible as if in daylight, feeling no pain, no fear of death, vicious as demons. Even celestial being in life and death realm. Experts were dragged back by their souls to fight. Qin gritted his teeth. Abandon the city, head to the east gate. The group fled. The eastern gate was smashed open by experts right behind them. A celestial being realm officer was torn apart by several undead right before their eyes. Above, Taoists riding flying yellow paper remnants of the Corpse Immortal sect were cooperating with the Nine Hells sect, one side controlling corpses, the other summoning souls. Lu City had completely fallen. Shen Wanyun panicked. Cross the river, back to Dejang hurry. Qin shook his head. No, the river is full of corpses too. The moment he finished speaking, water-soaked corpses staggered up from the riverbed, lunging toward them. Head to Nanjiang, that's our only way out. He unleashed a cloud sword form, severing the heads of several corpses. But they simply bent down, picked up their heads, tucked them under their arms, and charged again, the mouth on one severed head, even shouted. Living people here, over here. Both Yunqi and Shen Wanyun turned pale. Only Si Yunxiang remained eerily calm. Qin twisted his sword, transforming it into the entangling sword form, grinding several corpses into fragments. Move, don't let their experts catch up. They plunged into the darkness, fleeing toward Nanjiang. Behind them, flames erupted through Lu County, screams filling the sky. Yunke stammered. Going to Nanjiang, that's the enemy's lair. The black smoke thickened by the moment, turning daylight into night. The sun overhead had become no more than a faint ring of light, dimmer than moonlight. The surrounding green mountains were swallowed by pitch blackness. From behind came chaotic shrieks. They escaped, 3 men, 3 women. And a big lion. Hey, pick up my head. Get back here. Qin shot Shen Wanyun a glance. Understanding instantly, Shen Wanyun's flying sword drilled a trench just big enough to hide in. Qin flicked his sleeve and buried him beneath the ground. Moments later, a wave of anguished screams erupted behind them. Someone's ambushing us underground. Where's my head? Idiot, how are you talking without a head? Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Hey, senior brother, see my leg anywhere? Help me look, I'll be grateful. Iprisis Baldak Staust Daas. When the noise finally died down, Shen Wanyun surfaced, and the group immediately moved on. Not long after, a strange song echoed within the black mist, rigid eerie. Unlike the soul summoning guide they heard earlier, Qin led the group quietly closer and saw several corpses standing in the dark forest, torn and ruined yet chanting and casting spells. The dead, still performing magic. A chilling thought slashed through his mind. If this spell grows stronger, could it break the boundary between life and death? For now, these dead men had to maintain the soul summoning guide. Without pause, once they stopped, their souls would be dragged back to the netherworld. Qin retreated silently. We changed direction, avoid them. But every new direction led them straight into Disciples of the Nine, Hell's sect, or the Corpse Immortal sect, hunting down survivors. Overhead, corpses lifted by yellow talismans drifted across the darkness like carrion birds. Finally, Qin made his decision. To Mount Lu. Their corpses revived from there, so this area must be empty. As expected, Mount Lu was quiet and the black smoke had thinned. They had just begun to breathe easier, when another chant resounded, ancient and overpowering. Qin frowned. Not the soul-summoning guide. A different spell. He let the group rest and crept forward alone. When he reached a mountain cleft, his pupils contracted. A bone altar. Massive skeletons over 3 Jang long formed its frame. The floor paved with skulls. White flags inscribed with blood-runed script flapped at the 4 corners. At the center stood a statue of an 8-armed, 4-faced demon god, each face bearing 3 eyes. 13 Taoists circled the altar, manipulating a multifaceted talisman treasure, each rune lighting up with their chant. Every flash that struck the demon god statue lit another rune upon its body. Half the statue already blazed with light. Qin sucked in a sharp breath, commanding ghosts and spirits. Talisman, Hongshan sect. More than a dozen spellcasters who had survived after their sect's destruction, now collaborating with the Nine Hells sect and the Corpse Immortal sect. The scholars from the Imperial College had barely arrived in Liyuan Prefecture when the attack began. Clear proof of traitors high in the court people who knew their exact schedule. If the demon god were fully summoned, Liyuan Prefecture would be annihilated. Qin returned and relayed everything. Before they complete the ritual, we must kill them all. Who's with me? Yunqi swallowed hard. 13 spellcasters. We're really gonna fight them. If we don't, we'll die first, Qin replied. The Hongshan sect excels in soul arts, but is weak in close combat. The national preceptor defeated them the same way strike directly with sword arts. Xin Wangun nodded. If you dare, I dare. Si Yunxiang blushed. Point where to strike, and Yunxiang will cut. Yue Xinghong's eyes blazed with excitement. I've never been this thrilled for a battle. Go. Yunsha trembled but clenched his teeth. If not me in hell, then who lets do it? Tsaima warned. I'll charge first and break their formation. Follow right behind me, close quarters fast and decisive. The altar is only 3+ Jang wide, so memorize your movements. The group took their positions. Hu Linger and the dragon. Qilin flanked right waiting for the signal. Ready, Yue Qinghong whispered. A slight motion of Qinmu's hand. Her Linger burst from the brush. The dragon Qilin roaring behind her like a predator on the hunt. The 13 Taoists instantly turned. One laughed, just a fox chased by a lion, a flash of steel. Before finishing the sentence, his head flew off his neck. Qinmu was already standing tall atop the altar. Battle technique, heaven. Splitting a line across the vast horizons.